Hi, my name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. It is finally the end of September. I think that hopefully when this posts, it will be the last day of September. I've had, I don't know, YouTube is taking, like, if you have never uploaded anything to YouTube, like you upload it, and you know, then my whole life is in my phone because I have to record on my phone, and so then I turn like on airplane mode, and then when you upload, it can't be on airplane mode because you have to have Wi-Fi. So then if a telemarketer calls, or, you know, my mom calls, or my dad calls, or my daughter, or anybody calls, it cuts it off. So that's always just like, cross your fingers, hope it uploads. So most of my videos take, you know, 20 minutes on a slow internet day, which I don't understand how that works, maybe an hour, very rarely. But the last couple of days, like, it has a little countdown thing on YouTube, and I turn it on and it'll say 56 hours. Like, that's not possible. So I turn everything off in my house that could use Wi-Fi. We have two different, whatever they're called, where you pick your Wi-Fi thing. And then I take it off, like our Wi-Fi, and I just use the Xfinity. And I mean, I have done it over and over and over. So I'm backing up on videos. And I did try doing it in the middle of the night for one yesterday. So now I have a couple of classes that need to go up. So those are going to go up. So I'm getting more videos than I have upload time. So I think it must be a YouTube issue, and I'm hoping that it fixes itself soon. So hopefully this will post on the last day of September, because I want to remind you of a couple of things. And if it's already October and you're watching this, then the September things are done. But you have one day left, if it is still September, to join my team. I would love, 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 love to have you. And I'm pretty sure the next sign-up special will not be until January. It's very rare that they do one in September. But if you're part of my team, then you get to do all my classes for free. And the starter kit's always the best special anyways. But right now you get 2 additional free stamp sets. My welcome kit's a little bit bigger, and you get a free card making kit. All of that stuff is on my website. It's the last day to purchase the cut and emboss machine from me and get in on my free class and get the free folder. I think that's pretty much it. If you're on my email list, you'll get a wrap up of September, a little short thing, and a welcome to October, because I'm moving on now. Except if you want to join my team, message me and I'll help you do that, because that's really the best part about being in Stampin' Up. So starting on October 1st, we have a designer series paper sale, and if you'll see the special on my website and my email on Facebook. And this is made literally everything I made, and there's no glue, there's no hot glue, there's nothing that doesn't come from our catalog involved in making this wreath. So if you buy your paper from me next month, or there's a couple of other ways to get it, or if you're on my team, you'll get this free tutorial video in October. So I will film it. We're going on vacation. It'll probably go up mid-October, but if you purchase all month long. So today we are going to use the Poinsettia. I didn't bring the stamp set over here, but it's the Poinsettia Suite. So that paper is one of the ones that's on sale. It's not all of the designer series paper. There's a selection of them, but this is one of them. This is a video that's already up. And then this is a little tag that I made with leftovers. When I stamped this card, I stamped too much stuff, so I went ahead and did this. So this video is up, so you can go and check that out. So for this card, I'm using this paper because it's the Poinsettia paper. It's on sale. And then I'm also going to use this paper because if it's on sale, you know, you got to have it, right? And then this is that giant In Good Taste pack. It's fabulous. It's got, I call it the Home Depot pack. It's like if you walked into Home Depot, it's every flooring, tile, carpet, just all, like if you walked out to the gardening, any kind of texture, it's all in there, and it's fabulous. So we're going to mix these two together. Then we're going to use the stamps and the dies that come in the Poinsettia package. And then I'm also going to use, you know, I'm all about the textures that we have in our papers this year. This one's not on sale, but it's the velvet paper, and I'm going to use it. So we're going to start out. Our card's going to be Whisper White, but we're just really using it for a base. So that's all going to be covered up, and we'll do that after we do our stamping. So I've got the dies here, and these are the Poinsettia dies that come in the bundle. And this is, you know, I was all about the love of leaves last month. So this is a little bit similar to how those work. And I'm going to show you a little tip. So they have the leaf, like the petal. So you see all the petals, just the way those leaves did that we used so much last month. I hope everybody's gotten their kits. I hope the oh, I guess I need paper, I need to pay attention. So here's some shimmery white cardstock. So now we'll start again. So now, otherwise I was cutting nothing. So we've got the outsides, just like those leaves did. I thought, boy, this is gonna fill up this whole thing nicely. And then I'm like, I'm not putting it on top of anything. So I've got those. So I'm using all 3 of the big petals and then the 2 leaves. People that are in my Christmas prep class, I filmed that just before I filmed this, and my cat joined us for the whole entire video. So there's some cat hair right here. And then these, you know how they pop inside on the leaves? They do the exact same thing for this set. So not only are we going to cut them out, we're going to get that fun texture. So this is going to put all the veins in our flowers and our leaves. But then when you do these, they have to be figured out. So what I did, you can see this little bit of Sharpie there and then a little bit of Sharpie on this tip, because that's how they go. Otherwise it's a puzzle and you sit there, and if you're like me, invariably you start on the wrong tip and then you spin and you spin and you spin and you spin until you finally get the right tip. But because I've got this little bit of Sharpie and a little bit of Sharpie there, they just pop right in. So I only spun and spun and spun and spun the very first time, and then I marked them all. So there's just a little time-saving tip for you. I think that one's in upside down. I didn't do it for the leaves because, you know, they can only go 2 ways. There, that's better. So now it will cut and emboss at the same time. Just what our machine's designed to do. I do have one more, and it's out of the ornate frames, but I need to do my stamping first so I know where to put it. I guess I don't really, because it's the poinsettias are clear. But now you can see it has all the fun stitching. It's not really stitching, I guess. It's embossing of the leaves. So let's pull all these out. I guess I will go ahead and run my other piece through. I didn't think about doing it at the same time because it was, you know, sometimes when you design a card, I wasn't sure that I was going to put words on the front, and I did. And this doesn't come with any kind of a tag kind of thing. So and I wasn't quite sure. I used scrap on my first one, so I wasn't quite sure how much it would take. So this is from the Ornate Garden Frame, and it's just a little stitched rectangle. You don't want to send it through speed bump, so do it at an angle. This set has a ton of dies. I didn't even come close to using all of the ones that are in it. So if you don't do speed bump, when you roll that through, you won't even hear it. If you do speed bump, it's going to make a giant kerplunk. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about in the class. So if you get your machine from me, we're going to have 4 classes. And the first one of those will go up next week. There's 4. None of them are terribly long. Actually, 2 of them. One of them's already filmed. That's one of the ones that's in the backlog of my 56-hour upload times. So here we have all of our little pieces. I wanted it to match this. So this is where I got my color combination. So this paper is kind of weird because the ribbon that comes with this suite is this red ribbon, but not very much of the paper actually has red. But you know, a lot of poinsettias are red or pink. So this was how I designed this one, because I wanted to use the red ribbon, so I had to get one of the pieces that had the red, and this is colored with blends. But then pink poinsettias are kind of my favorite, so that one I just didn't include any of the paper that had a color that was making me choose my poinsettias. But this one I do want it to match this. So let's do our poinsettia leaves first and take the actual leaves out. Because aren't poinsettias the flower that everything is a leaf? I think so. I guess I only did one of those, or maybe it's still stuck in its thing. There are two of them, but maybe I just ran one through. No, I ran them both through, so I'm just missing one. I don't know where it went. Because you know, you don't leave your table and you just knock everything off. It's staying, it's, no, look, see, I cut two and there's one. I'll fast forward to this part. Oh, here it is. I thought maybe I dropped it on the floor. We had this discussion at camp the other day, how that happens to all of us. Don't stand up and we still lose stuff. So I had just done, if you missed this video, this is up. It's the one that's posted. And this one I had to upload at least 15 times to get it to post. But I used the water painter to paint that, and we did a resist watercolor with a resist embossing. So this was still laying here. So I'm going to use it. And so for it, I'm going to use saffron because that's the color that most matches those little leaves. Thought about doing caramel because I think it's kind of a mix of the two. I think actually the centers are saffron. And then I'm going to use soft suede. So just squish your lids down till you get a little palette there to work with. And this is the finest tipped water painter that we have. So I'm just going to get a tiny bit of the soft suede. And here where you see those, I'm just going to do one of these while you watch, and then I'll go do the rest and fast forward it. But you can see where the veins have embossed into the card. I'm just going to kind of highlight those with the brown so they show up a little nicer. And I'm sure it's one of those things that it's a whole lot easier to see in person than it is on the video. There is a class coming up for the Poinsettia Place. It's not a kit class, so it's a video only, or if you purchase the suite, but I don't mail you anything, partly because there is a new suite coming up that we haven't even seen yet, so I may be doing it. We'll see it tomorrow. And because we're on vacation in October, so it was just easier for my October classes to be more just you have it, and then I'll show you what to do with what you have. So we have that now. You can add a lot of water to the shimmer white and get the color to move around. You can't do this with regular cardstock. You can do it with the watercolor or the shimmer. If you do it with the white or vanilla, you'll have to be real careful about the amount of water that you add. So now we've got this little brown going here, and then I'm going to take my saffron and just kind of add that yellow to the middle. And so keep in mind that because this is a flower builder die, that a lot of the centers of these are going to get covered. So really my color on these bottom two starts going out about here. So there's that one. I'll do a little bit more of this one just so you can see it again, and then I'll hold them up. I wanted that one to dry a little bit. You might be able to see this one a little bit better. So you can see where those kind of hit. You do want to have a bit of water on your brush before you start. Otherwise that brown's just gonna, that first hit on your card is just brown, and you don't want that because none of that, it's such a soft color on the paper, and you're trying to mimic that. But when you start, if you start on this one, because all of this is just going to get covered up when you build it. So it kind of helps you know how much water you have on your brush. So let me pick this up so you can see how it's kind of picking those up. And then if you feel like it's, this one I kind of put a lot of yellow on the top. This one, let's try to go a little bit more on the edges so it doesn't cover up all my brown. But like I said, when these stack, they're going to get covered up because all three of those are going on top of these. So you can kind of see that. So I am going to finish coloring these, and then I'll fast forward this bit so you don't have to watch it. Okay, so here's my petals. It just took a couple minutes to do it because, I mean, you're really just drawing water on them. It's not any kind of special anything. And then I've got garden green, which is the color that is on the pine needles. It doesn't have any leaves actually on this paper. but that's okay. Our flower is going to have some leaves. And again, I'm just going to get a bunch of water, and I want these to be really light. So I'm just going to kind of brush it and let it kind of seep down into those veins. Just like that, just a little bit. So you can see it didn't take much longer than that, except that I did 2 colors on those others. I guess I didn't need to shut that. I kept the others open for a reason. So now we're gonna do just a tiny bit of stamping. Done with the painting. So we have the little banner that we cut out. Wrong stamp. So there's a Merry Christmas. That comes in the set. Stamp that on here. And I'm stamping it to one end because I don't need the whole entire thing. So there's that. And then our card. You know, it's always nice to do it before you glue everything together, because I'm going to stamp on the inside of my card, and if I mess it up, then I can flip this over and this can be the top where I'm going to glue everything. So I just have, this is this poinsettia, but we're just going to use it for a highlight piece. But look, I want you to see how beautiful it is since I'm just using it for a highlight piece. So I'm not even going to stamp very hard, barely stamp, just in that same yellow that I just used. We'll dry a little bit lighter because saffron looks kind of bright when you first stamp it, and then it gets a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to use the garden green, going just with the same colors theme that I just used. And this says, "May magic and wonder bloom this holiday." So it has a nice double sentiment. And there are more words in this set too. This set has several sentiments in it. So got that. So you can see if I'd mess that up, I could flip it over and then just have another go at trying to get it right. So now let's just put it together. I have my seal, and this is going to totally be covered up. So because I'm going to cover it up all the way, I want to go completely around the whole perimeter of the outside of the card. And I'm going to take this piece of wood paper that comes from the In Good Taste, one of the sale papers in October, and just start at the edge. And I've just got it cut the whole quarter sheet of cardstock, so 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then this is cut a little less than 4 and a little less than 4 1/4, because I wanted to make sure that we could see the wood grain around. And then just kind of make sure your poinsettias aren't all going upside down. They go both different directions, but I wanted like the main ones to not look like they were falling, although it's for effect. So a lot of them are going to end up getting covered up here. So I'm pushing it a little over to this side because, again, this is going to get covered up. So I want border here. It doesn't have to be straight because this is going to be covered up, but now we have a nice border over here and you'll be able to see more of this. Now I'm going to take the fabulous flocked paper, and now it's going over here. So you can see that even though it's not straight, we get a little bit more of this and we get some of the wood, but there's so much going on. And once we put our poinsettia on there, you will never know that that wasn't straight, but it's just the way I wanted it to be. So again, a tiny bit of the wood over here, because I like that little, you know, it's a fun 2020 current trendy kind of look, because flocked paper is kind of 60s, kind of elegant, but we're toning it down with the farmhouse look. So now we're going to build our, whoops, I tried to keep them all on here so it would be easier, and I just dumped them all off. I had them laying on my cut and emboss machine. So these are really easy to build. So all you do is put this here, and now you're going to see how lots of the middles of these get covered up, and just kind of twist them a little bit. This one, twist a little bit. My cat's crying. She wants me to play with her. At least she's not on the table for this one because I forced her to get off after the... This one I put a little bit more of the suede. You know how I always have one that I've done for you. This one's got more suede than the other one. I wanted it to kind of pick up a little bit more of the farmhouse look that was behind it. And then just kind of fold some of them up. Not a ton. You don't want it to be giant, but you don't want it to look flat either. So just kind of fold those up a little bit. Sibby! So just fold those up. And now here's where the really fun part of this card's gonna come. I'm gonna put this on here. And then you can kind of put it wherever, just kind of towards the center, because the card's a bottom third card. So a little bit further down than halfway. And then I've got, these are colors that we didn't even use, but this is one of my favorite ribbons, and it's Old Olive and Pretty Peacock. Not anywhere in this card do we have these colors, but it just looks really pretty. It looks festive, it's glittery, and I just like it. Then, to go with our farmhouse 2020 Keep It Trendy, we've got some of the linen thread. Then we're gonna pull in, this is all like, it makes it really pretty. These fun centers, and these are part of the Poinsettia Suite. They're the beaded pearls. So let's put all this together. So you're gonna take your big leaf and put some adhesive on it. Stick it under there. Now you can see why I wanted more of this over on this side, because if it was all centered, there would be just a tad bit less. And then we're gonna do a fun faux bow. So just about this much of your ribbon. And we really want the olive side to be shown more, but I love that it's double. So just kind of do this. Just gonna use adhesive. You don't have to tie anything. Just put a little strip of adhesive there. This kind of ties that over. Then another strip of adhesive right here. And then kind of lift this whole thing up. And stick it under there. So now you've got some adhesive that you can work with here. So I'm going to stick some this time on the top of my leaf. Kind of keep it all sandwiched in there. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat. She's desperate for me to come downstairs. She's spoiled. Now we're gonna take some of the trim and just wrap it around your fingers a few times. You want enough that it's noticeable, because there's a lot going on here. And now we have that piece of adhesive in there. So take this and kind of wad it here. So you can see this little piece that I have. So add that. And then right here where you've still got all that adhesive on the top of the other ribbon, that's gonna help sandwich all that in there. And then just kind of move it all apart. You have two ends and then some loops. So now you can just kind of press all that down. You've got plenty of adhesive on both sides of your leaves and in your ribbon that's gonna all hold that in there. Now take your little Merry Christmas, and I know you're thinking it's way off center. Just add your adhesive. And then you want make sure your end's not gonna go off the edge. Add that there and just flip it over. In any place where this is sticking off, you're gonna do the same thing, because that wood grain on paper doesn't have a straight pattern, so you can just cut this off. You don't want this showing on the back. It's just because I cut this a little bit bigger than I cut my white cardstock. Now we've got our Merry Christmas on there, so if you need to kind of move this around, I'm gonna stick it just, you can twist it, you can glue it. Actually, I'm going to take, let's do it just like that. That's a little bit long. My other one on the other card's not quite as long. But you can just kind of roll it. And the nice thing about the seal is that it takes probably a good 10 minutes for it to be all the way set. So just lift that off and move it. One of my favorite features. Then go back in the middle. This is gonna bring the whole card just to that next level. Add that adhesive there. got that super fun pearl. So this card's a little bit more on the suede side than my original. My leaves are a little bit greener. So you know when you make a second one. But whoever gets this card, never gonna know. This card a little bit different. And you have your fun inside stamped. And this paper, because of the way the paper, it looks like real wood, each section of the wood gets a little bit darker on the card. So I knew that this wood was going to be a little bit browner than this wood. Same piece of paper. I like the ribbon cut a little bit shorter. You can pull this whole thing out. But I'll do that before I take the pictures. So remember, I have the sale. Remember, if you're still watching in September, sign up and join my team. We have so much fun. Still another day that you can buy the Big Shot, or why do I keep saying that? The Cut and Emboss, and get in on my free classes and get your free folder. So everybody have a fabulous last day of September, and cross my fingers so I can get this to upload so you can watch it in September. And then I'll see you back here in October, where I will have lots and lots of cards using Designer Series paper next month. And I will have the new suite. I think it's called Curvy Celebrations, maybe. I'll be ordering it on October 1st, and if I love it, then I'll be overnighting it. So I will have it by the weekend. Yeah, by the weekend. So everybody have a great day. Bye.